All right, we're going to go over how to set up a new job in QuickBooks. So what is a job? A job is essentially a sub-customer. We recommend using jobs as much as possible because if we can, obviously you don't want to use it for everything, every single invoice or anything like that, because that's not going to be effective. But if you can have a job in here, the benefit of having jobs is that we have the ability to run reports at that level as well as for the customer as a whole. Okay, so job is essentially a sub-customer. So how do we set up jobs? There's two different ways that we can go about initiating the setup. I'm going to take you through the way on a transaction first, and then I'll show you in the customer center. So on a transaction, if we know that we have a new job that we're setting up for or a new estimate that we're setting up for a new job we're putting a bid out on, I can choose the customer, let's say Dan here. So once I choose the customer, if I want to add a job right from this screen, I can just hit the colon button, right? So hit shift and the semicolon so it gets in a colon, and then say new job as an example. Now when I do that, it's going to tell me that this is not on the customer list and I can go in and set it up, right? And so it sets up the job name, it's a customer of Ted or of Dan and continue to set it up. So that's one way. You can do it that way. The other way is to set up a job is to set it up in the actual customer center. So if I come in here, so notice how Fourlane's highlighted, and I say add a job, it's going to think I'm trying to add a job for Fourlane. So you do want to make sure that you have highlighted the customer that you're adding a job to first, and then you can add a job there. You can also just right click on the customer and say add a job. Okay. So when a customer list is super long, sometimes it's hard to get down there. The other thing that you can do is, let's say I did want to add it for Dan. I can say in here, right, I have Fourlane highlighted, adding a job. Okay, I can come over here and say, oh no, I'm not adding it for Fourlane, I'm adding it for Ted, right? But notice when I change the customer job there, it does not update information for Ted down below, or Dan down below here. All right. So again, it's more effective if you come to the actual customer and add the job, okay, because it picks up the customer's information. So job name, you can call it whatever you want, job 123. All right, again, opening balance. If you haven't watched the how to set up a new customer video, go ahead and watch that. I talk about opening balances and all this information. I'm going to focus just on what's specific for a job here. Okay, so what's specific for a job is that the customer's over here on the right side, so I can choose from any customer. You can have subs of subs, right? So I can make this a job of the addition project. So you can go up to 5 levels down. If we're doing that, if we're going even below 2 levels, right, under Dan and then to job, if you're trying to go below that, even another level, maybe give us a call because there might be ways that we can use other fields in QuickBooks so that you can get the same end result that you're trying to get, okay? Payment settings information, you can have different credit card information at the job level. We have had a couple of issues with credit card processing if you store information at the job level and the customer level, so just be aware of that. Again, we have a little some workarounds we can talk with you about. Additional information, same thing, customer type, you can have a different rep for each job. You don't have to have the same rep as the customer, different class. And then job information can be tracked down here. Okay, so the one tab that is missing here is sales tax. So you cannot have sales tax settings at the job level currently that are different than the customer level, which can be a problem. It is something that we have requested. So hopefully in the next couple, by the time I do these videos again, then we will have that change. Okay. All right, so moving jobs around. So let's say we have a job under a customer, it's under the wrong customer or something like that, or maybe we have a customer that should have been made a job in the very beginning. Like let's drag this custom homes out and say, and we'll go to resort list so it goes back in order. Okay, so these little diamonds on the side next to a customer help us to, you can drag and drop. You can also move them to the right to make them a job of, right? So it's very easy to move things around in QuickBooks. But let's say we have a really long list and this custom home should have been a job under Brandon Wilson. So I can take this and drag it all the way down, drag it over. Now it is a job of Brandon Wilson, all right? But if it's a long list, sometimes that can be kind of painful, right? You have to drag, and then sometimes it goes too fast, it goes too slow. So a little shortcut that I use frequently, again, if you have a lot of transactions, this can be an issue, right? And it will show up on your audit trail. But I sometimes will move the custom home under Albert Cruz, as an example, or whatever's right there. And then I edit it, because once I have it as a job anywhere, I can then edit it and go and assign it to the right customer. Okay, but again, if I look at the audit trail, it can mess with my audit trail, right? Because it looked like it was a customer of Albert, and now it's a customer of Brandon's, or a job of. But sometimes, and especially if you have the job set up and no transactions to it yet, sometimes that's the easiest way to get the job to the appropriate customer if you've accidentally given it to a customer instead of a job. So just a little tip. Anyway, so that is how you set up jobs in QuickBooks.